In this demo, I'd like to show how I use temporal tables to solve a very specific business problem that we had. The first thing we want to do is we're going to create a new table and we're going to set it up for system versioning. So we'll go ahead and we'll do that. So that table is all ready to go. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a stored procedure for returning any changes within the three scenarios described in the article. So the first thing to note is the procedure accepts two optional parameters, one for report execution date, so that if there's a failure and the procedure needs to be rerun, we can specify what the execution date is, and then the procedure will run for that day. The other thing we can do is specify an account manager. So if we want to look for changes for a specific manager, we can specify the manager. Otherwise, the store procedure will go, it'll look at the system version table, and it'll return any of the changes that fall within the three scenarios described in the article. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to create the procedure. Next thing I want to do is I just want to insert some test data. We're going to insert one assignment for account manager 1, and we're going to illustrate the first scenario, which is the back and forth. So this is where the business changes the manager to a different manager, and then for whatever business purpose or reason they switch it back within the reporting time period. So here we go. We're going to update the placement or the assignment to manager 2. Now if we were to run the procedure at this point, it would return a row for that change. So this would alert the email process to go ahead and send an email alert to manager 2. If, however, we do change it back to account manager 1, so there has been a change, but the end result is that the manager is back to the original manager within the reporting window, and we run the procedure, it's not going to return any results. So moving on to, I'm going to cover both the second and the third scenarios here. So right now, the assignment that we're looking at is for account manager 1. If we go ahead and we update that to account manager 2, and then, okay, so let's illustrate the third scenario where we have just a simple change. So if I run the procedure now, it's going to return a value and say that we need to notify account manager 2. But if we go ahead and we update the manager again to account manager 3, and we run this, what we want is we want the intermediary steps to be ignored so that we really only care about, at the end of the day, if the manager is different than the original manager, we want to alert that manager. So when I run it now, the final account manager is manager 3. So that was just a real quick demonstration of how temporal tables can be used in a very easy way. There's actually not a whole lot to the stored procedure. It's a really simple query. It just looks at the version data within the window that we care about and looks for those changes to fit those scenarios.